Do you feel from this experience that you owe anybody an apology?
As far as standing there, I had every right to do so. My position is that I was not disrespectful to Mr. Phillips. I respect him. I'd like to talk to him. I mean, in hindsight, I wish we could have walked away and avoided the whole thing. But I can't say that I'm sorry for listening to him and standing there.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about what you just saw, which was an interview between Savannah Guthrie of NBC and the accused so-called smirker, the smiler, really, Nick Sandmann, who was approached by the Native American elder while he was beating his drum all in his face. Now, what you just saw was pretty much how the interview went. She's asking him basically to reflect on the incident that happened. Would you do anything different? Would you apologize? And my man handled it with so much class, with so much dignity, with so much maturity, much more than many of the adults that are commenting on it and many of the adults that were there during the incident, including Nathan Phillips, the so-called native elder, and the black Hebrew Israelites who were very abusive. Nick Sandmann said, hey, I don't apologize for standing right where I was. I did not approach him. I did not say anything. I did not do anything disrespectful. I did not antagonize the man. I just stood there. And what he was saying throughout the interview was right. Because basically, she asked him a bunch of questions, basically saying, would you do anything differently? Would you try to change something? He did say, well, if I could do it all over again, I wish we could have just walked away and avoided the whole situation because, you know, this kid's probably about 15, 16 at the oldest. In high school, he didn't want all this attention on himself. He didn't want these death threats, which he said he's been getting as well. Not only to himself, but his whole family. He doesn't want that. Who would want that? Why would anybody just sign up to say, okay, yeah, I want to get death threats and stuff like that? If I could avoid it, then I would avoid it. But that doesn't mean that I apologize. He definitely did not apologize because he didn't do anything. He was standing there. People were trying to say that he was blocking the native guy's path to go to the Lincoln Memorial, but that doesn't make any sense. In the video that I've shown, and then I'll put some more in the box, maybe I'll put some more right here, you could see the native man basically going from person to person, you know, trying to beat the drum in the face, trying to antagonize people, okay? And the reason why I know he was doing this, not only because of the video, it's also because just 24 hours before this, Nathan Phillips, the so-called native elder, and some of his so-called native friends tried to interrupt a Catholic mass, okay, in DC while beating their drums and stuff like that. So this is what they do. Apparently, they go around, they start stuff, they rap arouse. They try to interrupt the mass 24 hours before that. And then a few years ago, he went and interrupted somebody's party because it was so-called native themed, and then the police came out there and stuff like that. Then he was in a music video in 2012 about assaulting police. He was also doing some kind of GoFundMe type campaign to do a documentary about his life or about his wife's life. I think his wife at the time had cancer. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but this guy appears to be somebody that likes to be in front of the camera, that likes to be the point of attention. He's also not being totally truthful about his military service. I've not heard him say, I am a Vietnam veteran. What he does say is that I'm a Vietnam times veteran. You see the difference?
22nd, that's my birthday. I'm going to be 63. I'm a Vietnam times veteran. I'm a Vietnam times veteran.
When you say you're a Vietnam veteran, that means you were in the war. You were over there in Da Nang, really actually fighting. But Nathan Phillips was in the Marines from 72 to 76, which was during the Vietnam War, but he never went overseas. He did all of his military time here in the U.S., stationed in, I think, Nebraska and also in California. He didn't go overseas at all. Not to Vietnam, not to anywhere. So he is not a Vietnam veteran, although he was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. during the Vietnam War and got an honorable discharge as a private. And if you're in the military, I'm not in the military, never have been, but I hear that being in the military for 4 years and after that time being a private is kind of lowly, but I don't know. I'll let y'all figure that out in the comments below. But basically, this guy is a rabble rouser and is a dishonest person at best and a stone cold liar at worst. I'm glad we were able to see Nick Sammann's point of view on the whole situation. And I'm glad that this young kid stood his ground and did not let anybody bully him. And he showed so much maturity. I'm really proud of that guy. And the people that are out there rushing to judgment, ought to be ashamed of themselves. People should get locked up behind this, honestly, because you put this man's life in danger. Sorry, not this man, this boy, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever, high school boy. You put his life in danger. And then to NBC and any other media outlet, especially NBC in this situation with Savannah Guthrie. The interview should not have been you, Savannah Guthrie, or NBC trying to get Nick Sandmann, the person who was aggressed against, to apologize. It should have been more apologetic towards him. You should have said in the interview, which I didn't hear, oh, we're sorry for rushing to judgment. We shouldn't have reacted so quickly. The mainstream media owes you an apology because they put your life in danger. They put your family's life in danger. Before we figured out what was going on, okay, we just rushed to judgment and put things out there. Phil DeFranco, all these guys should be going and apologizing to this young man rather than trying to get him to apologize to anybody. He didn't do anything. And I'll close with this. Nick also said that he liked to be able to speak to the man, to Nathan Phillips, have a conversation. I like to see that and see what can come of it, because Nick also said that he was just trying to hear the man out, whatever he had to say. So what you want him to do? Do you want him to sit there and listen to the guy if he's going to actually talk rather than beating his drum? Do you want him to walk away from the guy and look disrespectful because he doesn't want to give the native man a little bit of his time? If he is trying to move, he's surrounded by people, so he doesn't want to bump into anybody. Imagine that situation. You got people all around you, surrounding you with cameras and everything else. People can see one piece of video and judge somebody based off of that without anything else being told to them. They could see a thing outside of context and make a snap judgment. But see, all this was predicted in 1984, George Orwell. You know, I think Nick Sandmann is guilty of the crime of face crime. If you make an incredulous look, or you just happen to smile, a blank stare, any kind of look that is seen as improper or disrespectful can be some kind of crime you get punished for. And we see what the punishment is: public lynching, death threats, you know, defamation of character without any kind of punishment for it. That's pretty much all I got to say. What do you think? Do you think that Nick Sandmann, the young man in this case, is guilty of face crime? Is he guilty of anything? Did he do anything wrong? You guys know my point of view. He did not do anything wrong. He was standing his ground. What else should he have done in that situation? He's standing there waiting for his bus to come pick him up. If the native guy is approaching him in his face with a drum and is beating it like right here in his face, what should he do? I think he did the right thing in this situation, just standing there, not doing anything, not with an aggressive look or some kind of, you know, breaking down laughing, just standing there. What else could you do? How about this guy, Nathan Phillips, the so-called native elder? How do you feel about him kind of misleading his military experience? I can't say stolen valor because he was in the military, and he does say Vietnam times veteran, but that phrasing is very deceptive. Vietnam times? Why don't you just say, I was a veteran? That's enough. You don't have to say Vietnam times veteran. One time he slipped up and said Vietnam veteran times.
Well, as a Vietnam veteran, I served in the United States Marine Corps from 1972 to 76.
No, he got to put the times in there to make you think or hear right away Vietnam veteran, and you kind of like bypass the whole part about the times. He's being deceptive, and that's what it appears that he's doing all throughout this whole situation here with the so-called MAGA teens, was really just good Catholic boys. They didn't do anything wrong. They did the best they could have done in that particular situation, and that's pretty much all there is to it. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.